Hello. Okay. Hello, YouTube. Robert Alvarez, the Psychic Witch, also known as Mr. Lighting and a Fan. I am going to open up a screen so that I can see myself. And how you doing? Today is Wednesday, March 29th, 2017, and the current time is approximately 2 minutes after 4 p.m. I have something in my eye. I'm so sorry. My makeup person was off today. Anyway, so let me take a sip of some tea. I've received beautiful compliments on this mug. It reads, "Something beautiful is on the horizon," and it was a gift, a birthday gift actually. It's a combination of two yogi teas. It's healthy fasting and blueberry slim life. I'm sorry, blueberry slim life green tea, or green tea blueberry slim life, something like that. I saw my stomach in one of my more recent YouTube videos, and I was like, okay, so just because I'm not a starving psychic doesn't mean I need to look like one, or at least have a like one. But anyway, it's so funny because I used to poo-poo organic foods and organic stuff, and I found that I'm noticing that I'm definitely getting more into organic foods and organic beverages. It doesn't mean that I have made the switch completely. It just means that I'm definitely noticing. Um, I'm finding myself being drawn to more. I normally use honey with herbal teas, but I'm actually enjoying this fair trade, uh, fair trade certified USDA organic natural sugar, which is so good. It's granulated and it's so delicious, and I love it. So I want to quickly acknowledge, now for the record, in my newest YouTube video, which I have not uploaded yet, I have acknowledged my newest YouTube channel subscribers, but I'm going to do that again now. So they are Tanya's Life Vlog and Onkapi. I'm still hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. I'm going to acknowledge my newest YouTube channel subscriber now, even though I'll do that in my next YouTube video, my next non-live streaming YouTube video, Kooky Suze, and I love her username. It's Kooky spelled capital K-O-O-K-Y with a capital K, and Suze capital S-U-Z. And then she has this black cat graphic, which I'm really enjoying. And she has this black cat graphic that I'm really enjoying. I already said that, but yeah. Black cats are a constant part of my life, so, you know. Anyway, and I also want to shout out Gothica, because I promised Gothica that I would shout her out pretty much every time until my newest series of YouTube videos, which are the How to Give a Reading videos. I haven't started those yet. They're coming soon. I have a lot of videos that, you know, here's the thing. With me, there are so many ideas that I have for YouTube channel videos. And, you know, there are these things that I do, like give readings, and there are these other things that I do, like work with my side position of employment, and then, of course, these insignificant things like eating and sleeping. So, you know, I'm not always doing videos. I have massive amounts of admiration and respect for those. Oh, and I see comments. Hi, Gothica. So yes, I have massive amounts of admiration for the people who have a strict schedule, or who have a maintained schedule with regards to YouTube channel videos. I mean, I have massive amounts of respect for them. I wish I could do that. I don't have that set up like that in my life. Um, it's a nice idea for me, but anyway. Now, I want to get to. I have a list. I have a index card that lists what I'm going to talk about. So first of all, I want to talk about Catland a little bit because, as most of you know, I have been one of Catland's in-house readers for. Actually, I think it's coming close to a year, or it's been a little more than a year. No, it's coming close to a year. I began giving readings at Catland in September 2015, but I've been an in-house reader with them since June 2016. So, um, some of you have availed yourselves of readings with me via Catland, either by phone or by Skype. But those of you who want to have an in-person reading with me, or who want to go to the store and see me there, keep in mind that I am available by appointment only, which means that it's not like, well, it's a Wednesday, so Robert will be at Catland. It's not like that. I've thought about this. Melissa, and who's one of the co-owners, and I have not discussed this officially, but I've thought about this. As much as I love the thought of having an official day at Catland, I'm not sure if that would fit into my schedule. And I apologize for being a little distracted because, as some of you know, I have an amazing computer tech person who is also my awesome audio-visual tech person. And sometimes he wants me to know things, and then it's like, what do you want me to know? Because, we don't have that telepathy thing going on right now. And he's not exactly writing me notes. And I keep thinking Beyonce never has to worry about these challenges. I'm like, Beyonce. And I have comments that I need to read, so I don't see them yet. And I will see them momentarily. If I don't type anything, please understand if I'm not typing anything at the moment. I do want to acknowledge the comments. So anyway, but getting back to Catland. So with regards to giving readings at Catland, I'm basically there by appointment only. And one change that has taken place is that now on Catland's website, it's recommended that people who want to schedule readings with me contact me directly. That works extremely well, and both Melissa, or as I lovingly refer to her, marvelous and multi-talented Melissa, and I have had this conversation where basically it works out well that people contact me directly about scheduling their readings with me, whether it's an in-person reading in Catland in the physical space, or whether it's a phone reading via Catland or a Skype reading via Catland. That works out extremely well because you know what? I've known this for years and I've believed this for years. I am not responsible for anybody else's schedule, meaning that I am not required to keep tabs on anybody else's schedule. Nobody else is required to keep tabs on my schedule. So when it comes to, well, is Robert available? Let's find out. So I would say contact me directly, which works out extremely well. And it really has been working extremely well. So yes. So that's one of the things. So those of you who wanted to pop in and see me at Catland and say hello, I'm not going to be there. Unless we've already arranged in advance for me to be there. And that's another story. So those of you who want to schedule your readings, I recommend you do so sooner than later. I noticed that prior to me leading group prosperity classes on a monthly basis, I noticed that January through February was my lag time, like my lull in my professional psychic practice. And then when I began leading group prosperity classes on a monthly basis, meaning once a month for no matter what, that's when I found that January through February I began booking up faster. And March through August, I was as busy as I normally am September through December. And for the record, I already have appointments scheduled in May. So if you have not yet scheduled a reading with me, whether it's an in-person reading at Catland if you're going to be in the store, or whether you want me to come to you and you happen to be in the New York City area, or whether you want a phone reading with me through Catland, or a Skype reading with me through Catland, or outside of Catland, I recommend you schedule your readings as soon as possible. That way you get the date that you want. Because if you don't do that, then you won't get the date you want. And one of my longtime clients, somebody, I won't mention names, I don't want to embarrass her, but she has been using my psychic services since September 2001. There was a time when I had given her a list of dates that I had available, and she was like, she didn't get back to me right away, but she got back to me a little more than a month later. And it was like, she said to me, well, I want this date. And I wrote, I'm no longer available that date. And we're communicating back and forth via text messaging. And she was like, but you were available. I'm like, yes, I was available when I first gave you those dates more than a month ago. Now I'm not available more than a month later. And then she was like, well, what do you have available now? I'm like, let me look at my appointment calendar and I'll get back to you. And I did. And then she let a little more time go by, and then she wanted a certain date. And then that date wasn't available. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean, what am I talking about? You know I book up fast. So what date do you want? Whatever date that is, claim it. You know, it's like, yo quiero ese. So let's go. So anyway, so that's the thing with Catland. And I feel divinely guided to remind people about this because I think people forget. And I know that some of you that have watched my monthly updates videos, you've noticed that there are certain things that I say over and over again. And that's mainly because some people keep forgetting them. And some people in the past have thought that something else was going on and something else wasn't going on. And of course, my immediate reaction was, what are you talking about? Who told you that? I never said that. I never wrote that. And then it's like, okay, what's going on over here? Anyway, so now I'm gonna talk about magic and ritual. Now, I'm gonna talk about magic and witchcraft. To me, magic and witchcraft are not the same thing. They're very similar, but magic and witchcraft are not basically like, well, they're not synonymous with each other in my mind. They're not mutually exclusive. For me personally, magic is a little more, I don't want to say open-ended. I feel that magic is more loose or less confined than witchcraft. I find that witchcraft has certain guidelines and certain requirements and certain practices, and that means something different to me than let's say magic as opposed to witchcraft. I find that witchcraft has a certain set of guidelines that are more, I don't want to say required, but for lack of a better term or phrase, required than magic. I find that magic is more, I'm going to say open-ended, even though that's a phrase that I don't quite know what it means. But I find that magic is a bit more open-ended, and there is a lot more flexibility with magic than with witchcraft. Yeah. And I want to actually share something with you. It's a very simple ritual. It's one that works extremely well for me. And one thing, and this is actually the ritual that I use when I'm going to consecrate and, well, cleanse and consecrate the decks that I'm going to use between one new moon and the next. As most of you know, the new moon in Aries was the day before yesterday, Monday, March 27th, 2017. And it was a very powerful new moon for me, in spite of having no planets in Aries. It was a very potent new moon for me. It was a very, it definitely opened up my mind to a lot of ideas. I'm going to leave it like that. And one of the most exciting new moon wish lists I've created in a long time. All right, now I'm going to leave it at that. So let me give you an example of the ritual that I use to cleanse and consecrate the decks that I use between one new moon and the next. And I'm going to use this particular tarot deck as an example. So this is called, oh, I know what it's called, but I want to give you the exact title. It is called the Black Cat's Tarot, and it's by Maria Kumara, or Curara, Curara, excuse me. This was a gift from a client of mine who is just wonderful. And this is definitely a popular deck with a lot of my clients. I know that I'm giving at least one reading with this deck next month. So one thing that I normally do with my decks is I take representations of all of the arcane elements. So that would be fire, water, air, and earth. So for fire, I have a candle. For water, I'll have either an essential oil or an essential oil blend or Florida water, like my trusty Florida water here. I love my Florida water. Love my Florida water. Or then I'll have incense for air. The incense could be anything. I like to use incense that is specifically designed for divination, for spiritual upliftment, for clairvoyance, for clairaudience, that kind of thing. And then for earth, I will have a crystal, usually a crystal that has as one of its more common or well-known magical properties, enhancing clairvoyance, increasing psychic ability, etc. So what I'll do is I'll start with the fire, and I'll take the deck, and then I'll basically pass. Let's pretend that this is the candle's flame. So let's say I'm not usually not holding it in my hands, but let's say that this time around I am. So I would take the deck, and I would by the way, I would pass it above the candle's flame, and then Taurus, I would take the crystal, because Taurus comes after Aries. Aries is a fire sign, Taurus is an earth sign. Although being a sun sign, earth sign, Capricorn namely, I usually do earth last. So I would take the deck, pass it over the candle's flame, then pass it through the incense smoke. Let's say that this is the incense, and this is the tip of the incense, the lit part. So I would do this. Then I would take Florida water, take a drop, and do the top of the deck. And then I would take the crystal. Let's pretend this is a crystal. It's just a pain reliever. And then I would just do it like this. And then, of course, I kiss it in the name of the goddess, and that deck is set. That deck is set for giving readings the next time I use it for readings. I find that doing this ahead of time is very easy. It just so happens that I have 2 in-person readings scheduled this Friday, March 31st, 2017. One will be at Catland. And I'm very excited about that reading because that is someone who's never had a reading before. I always take it as a huge, huge, huge compliment when someone has his or her very first reading with me, like his or her very first professional reading experience with me. That is a humongous honor for me. I mean, that to me is as priceless as gold. I can't even tell you how much that means to me. So yeah, so that's how I do the ritual. It's very simple. I know that with all of my live streaming videos, I usually upload them as they're recording at the same time, and I usually upload them afterwards. So I don't need to worry about them being archived. But if any of you have any questions about the actual ritual, you're more than welcome to ask that in a comment. I probably will do a video at some point where I actually do the actual ritual itself. I'm not going to do that right now for obvious reasons. And I wanted to keep this under half an hour. So, because I would like to eat something, and I have a few other things I need to do and all that other stuff. So let me go back to my trusty note card. I love using these jumbo index cards. They really help me a lot with my videos. So yes, I have not forgotten about deck review videos. I am very excited about the deck review videos that I have coming up. I will tell you that with regards to my deck review videos, I'm so sorry, I'm having a problem. Problem has been rectified. Thank you so much. With regards to my deck review videos, I know that I have a lot of them coming up. I have not forgotten about them at all. Just a little bit of background on my professional schedules the way they are. So ever since I became one of Catland's in-house readers, my professional psychic practice has expanded. And it's actually a combination of becoming one of Catland's in-house readers, my YouTube channel, clients that have been coming back to have readings with me, an increase in referrals. So there are a lot of things that have been happening, good things. And then, of course, my side position of employment, my hours are part-time the first 2 weeks of the month, and they're full-time the third and fourth weeks of the month. And essentially with my side position of employment, unless I'm sick, I am required to work every day during that full-time period. And this month, the full-time period was extended by 1 day, which was yesterday. Yesterday was the last day of my full-time period. So today I took a nap. I watched some episodes of a telenovela called Vino el Amor, which I've been enjoying. Well, now I'm enjoying it. Now it's really getting good. It was taking so long. I was like, come on, somebody smack somebody. Finally, somebody really smacked somebody. Ooh, I got excited. And I am going to go back to it later. So, and this side position of employment has become more involved and more demanding, which is why, although I do not have an issue scheduling a private reading during that full-time period, I'm reluctant to do it unless the client has no other time available. And so far, I must thank the goddess for this again. So far, every person who has scheduled an in-person reading with me at Catland, or a phone reading at Catland, or a Skype reading at Catland, prior to the new system of contacting me directly, they were able to have the appointment they wanted, and I was able to keep it. So that made me extremely happy. Now, it just so happens that today I received the last birthday gift of decks. So this is going to be a quick unboxing, unbagging, because it's in a bag. So this is called the Fae Tarot. Now, some of you may know that I love using the term Fae, as in the sacred Fae, to refer to the fairies. I love this deck. It's by Riccardo Minetti and illustrated by Mara Agem. This is one of those Lo Scarabeo decks. It's not new, but it's a deck that needed to be replaced because some of the decks that I had needed to be replaced because they were either stolen or they were damaged or they got missing cards for some bizarre reason that I have no idea. But I really love this deck. I love that some of the cards are renamed. For example, the High Priestess card in this deck is called the Seeress. So I'm looking forward to reconnecting with this deck. This is going to be a deck review video at some point. And I will tell you, I mean, I've joked with several people that are especially close to me about this. I do not need a new book. I do not need a new deck. I don't need a new bag. I don't need a new journal. I don't need new pens. Really, I need those things like I need a hole in the head. So I don't need anything that's new in that regard. But the fact of the matter is, I've been feeling divinely guided to acquire additional decks. Although, let's face it, I think it is safe to say that I have more than enough decks that if, let's say, I did a deck review video every week for a year, I would still have more decks to go to after that year. If I did a deck review video more frequently than that, I think I'd still have some. I am extremely long overdue to do an official recount of how many decks that I have, but to give you an approximate number, I have between 200 and 250 tarot decks. That includes kits. And I have between 150 and 200 divination decks or oracle card decks. Now, they take up a lot of space in a lot of places in my apartment. And I think that, and that's one of the reasons why, and I love this woman, Ember Honeyraven. She remains one of my favorite YouTube witches. In her previous home, she had her witchy room, and her witchy room had this gorgeous bookcase. And in this witchy room, you saw all of these gorgeous decks, and I was like, ooh, now make no mistake. When I saw that, I'm like, now that is something to put on a new moon wish list. A home where I can have a witchy room. Yeah. Anyway, so we are getting towards the end of this YouTube video, so I'm going to see if I have any additional comments. I do not. I want to see if I have any additional questions. I do not. I want to make sure that I have my note card covered. I do. And I am going to say something a little bit quick about the ideas that I have. I think it's safe to say that with all of my videos, with all of the videos that I'm going to make on my YouTube channel, I think I get ideas every day. I think it's safe to say that I have ideas every day. And the fact of the matter is that it's a matter of time. It's a matter of time in that, ooh, that's some disco music. You're like, what is he doing? My alarm went off. But check out this alarm tone. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, so thank you, YouTube. I enjoyed having this live streaming video with all of you, and I look forward to uploading it. I forgot if they're uploaded automatically, but I do want to tell you that I enjoyed this time with you. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. And if any of you have any questions or comments, you can certainly put that in the video once it's uploaded to my YouTube channel. And for now, I wish all of you many blessings, many miracles, and the beauty of this day. Thank you so much.